All right. All right. Let's roll into the show. And I'm also going to work on I can't not have an intro. So I'm going to work on that too. Yeah. So we're going to start off with Skeleton Crew. We finally got the finale of Skeleton Crew last night, 9 p.m. Eastern. It dropped. And I also put a review, a little quick blurb over on Instagram. And I would love for you guys to tell me down below what you thought of the show. You know, I have not hid the fact that I disliked the show. I gave it a 2 out of 5 in my review. I don't think the show is completely unwatchable, or I don't think it was unwatchable. I think effort was put into the show, and I see and understand that kids were the overall appeal of the show. But I feel like what Disney can't figure out is what everybody wants to do is figure out the Stranger Things formula, which Stranger Things figured out a modern day Goonies formula. So everybody now is trying to replicate what Stranger Things did, and they can't decide, right? Disney can't decide, is this strictly for kids? Is this a kids / you watch with your parents show? Or is it just the adults can enjoy it as well? They can't really figure it out. And this show, I'm not going to spoil the ending of the show, but it's all for nothing. Like, the show starts, the show ends, there's an ending, but there's no like reveal. There's no, oh my God, that's this thing, or that's that person, or none of that happens, which maybe in a way that's, maybe it's wrong that we expect that with Star Wars all the time. I don't know, but I found the show to be absolutely boring. I found it to be boring. I was thinking about this yesterday, and maybe this is part of the Disney problem when it comes to Star Wars and maybe some of the other properties. But they came out with this like, I mean, it's not unwritten, it's obviously written, but they came out with this, the 7 types of narratives when it comes to writing and movies. And I feel like there was 12 at one point, but in a quick search this morning, I found the 7. And generally when you're doing like action, or I guess you could have it in other genres, but more when I think about like the action, the adventure type of stuff, you definitely run into, these 7 narratives when you're telling a good story, overcoming the monster, the King Arthur trope, right? Rags to riches, a quest, voyage and return, comedy, tragedy, rebirth. Like, these are things that you need when you're trying to tell a story like what they were trying to tell. Now, in this show, was Jude Law the monster? I don't really think so. Like, he was there, but I don't see him as a monster. There was no rags to riches. The quests, they weren't trying to get anything, right? They weren't trying to get gold like in Goonies. I guess Jude Law was. Voyage and return, it was an accidental voyage. They went to different places. None of the places were memorable. Nothing exciting happened in these places. Was there comedy? Sure. Was there tragedy? No. Was there rebirth? No. So I feel like when I watch these Disney shows, of these 7 things may happen, but there's no like real thought behind any of this. 0. And in fact, when I think about Ahsoka had, the quest trope, right, on one end, and then you also had a voyage and return on the other end, right? Because the quest for Sabine and Ahsoka was, we got to find Ezra. Ezra went on this voyage to save everybody, trying to return. the show literally just switched the two. So neither really like ended. So that's why I think I also disliked Ahsoka. So all that is said because I just feel like Disney cannot figure out a way how to tell a legit Disney story or legit Star Wars story following basic narration or story plot threads in a way that's just interesting to anybody other than like, hey guys, it's Star Wars. You need to watch this. Because at the end of the day, I think most of us watched it because it's Star Wars. And because you felt like something will happen at the end that connects to a different show, connects to a different movie. I have to watch it so it's not spoiled for me, but then I'm also ready for the next thing. And none of this list happened really. It was an empty voyage and return. The quest was empty. So, like I said, I'm not going to spoil the show for now. I'd like to give it a couple days. I could probably talk about it more in depth. Maybe even tomorrow on Thursday, Hey Archer Live. Maybe we'll talk about it then. But we'll see. Skeleton Crew, 2 out of 5. It was completely pointless. It was a pointless show.